sorry, sir. We're going to have to ask you to leave.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, right, exactly.
No problem.
Awesome. I'm going home.
See ya.
Come out.
Strikeout number 4 for Kate Burge. all of you can hear the rain there, RJ, Joe, are the fields covered? Okay, good. Good evening and welcome to the 2016-17 Penn State Altoona Intercollegiate Athletics Recognition Ceremony. This evening we honor the achievements of our varsity sports teams along with various individuals who have excelled both athletically and academically over the past year. As athletic director at Penn State Altoona, it is a privilege every spring to join you in celebrating your accomplishments. I know that my staff and our distinguished guests are equally proud of your hard work. On a personal note, this year has been a tricky year with the construction and all of the inconveniences that as we work through. I want to personally thank each and every one of you for your patience and dedication through this past year. I know those of you that are coming back in the fall, when you get here in August, there's going to be some very nice things and a very nice facility for you to see and us to start using come August. So again, thank you. I also want to thank my staff because many of you are in and out of the building, but a number of those individuals have had to live through that construction project this year. And their patience, they're willing to do and go above and beyond to take care of and make sure that our programs continued. And I'd also like to thank the baseball team for your patience because these guys have been displaced for 2 seasons now, and I am looking forward to getting them back on campus. So again, from this past year, thank you. I appreciate everything that you all have done as we get ready to really improve our athletics program. So thank you. With that, I would like to introduce Dr. Lori Bechtel-Wary, our Chancellor and Dean, for a few comments.
Thank you, Brent. Let me just say congratulations to all of you and thank you for being student athletes here at Penn State Altoona. In the spirit of Division III athletics, it's important to note you are student athletes. And you've just done a wonderful job this year in maintaining unprecedented high GPAs collectively. And I hope that you had a wonderful year, and those of you that will be with us next year, stay in shape over the summer and keep working hard. I think you'll understand implicitly that being a student athlete, I believe, helps you perform better academically. You need to learn how to budget your time and multitask. You learn the value of teamwork, of individual drive, and setting individual and collective goals. All those things, I think, help us to be better human beings, number one, but also to be better academics. And I really want to thank all the coaches and the staff, the trainers, the bus drivers, everyone who helped this year to make it such a great year. I enjoyed watching so many of the contests. Those of you that know me, I'm very competitive, and I do like to win, and I'm still asking Brent to please bring home that big crystal vase that they give to the Division III champs every year, and I think next year might be our time to do it. And I was a student athlete in D3, played tennis, was my main sport, but also played basketball and volleyball in high school, and of course some of you know too well that my favorite sport is ping pong. And so thank you for letting me beat you. So far this season, we've had 9 teams make the AMCC postseason. 3 were chosen for the ECAC tournaments, and 1 chosen for the NEAC postseason play. Athletics department total GPA is a 3.07 with 85 academic all-conference folks named, with a collective GPA of average of 3.2, which is really terrific. And we had 52 peak performers. That requires at least a 3.5 GPA, and that's really commendable, and I congratulate you on that as well. Of course, as we all know and saw in the video, the Jacob's last spike to move us on to the playoffs, men's volleyball earned a bid to the NCAA championships. There have been many individuals, yeah, that's worthy of problem. There have been many individual accomplishments, including student athletes reaching statistical milestones, setting new team records, and earning awards. And we're not going to go through all of them tonight because we'd probably be here till 11 o'clock. And as Brent mentioned, the Adler will be reopening in the fall, and we're looking forward to that so much. I can tell you that that's been 20 years in the making, and couldn't be happier that that project finally got funding behind it, and we were able to move forward. And as Brent noted, that will be a bigger and better facility that will help our coaches and our athletes to do better. And I want to thank you, too, for your patience as we've been working through the dust and the little bit of chaos. So thank you very much. Enjoy the evening, and I look forward to celebrating with you and recognizing your individual and collective accomplishments. Thanks so much.
Good evening, everybody. Now we'd like to recognize the members of our Student Athlete Advisory Council. SAC plays a vital role in providing feedback to the administration on all sorts of issues pertaining to student athletes. They also coordinate community involvement during the academic year through various service events. All SAC members, please stand. The Allegheny Mountain Collegiate Conference yearly recognizes student athletes at member institutions for their academic achievement. To earn academic all-conference honors, the student athlete must earn a cumulative GPA of 3.2 or higher. If your name is indicated on the program with an AAC, please stand and be recognized. The AMCC also honors academic peak performer status of teams and individual student athletes. The team award is presented to the institution's team that has earned the highest team GPA in each sport. This year, Penn State Altoona has 3 teams that earned peak performer honors. Would the team captains or team representatives from each of the following teams please come to the stage? Men's tennis, women's swimming, and men's swimming. The AMCC individual peak performer status is earned by achieving a cumulative GPA of 3.4 or higher. This year, we have 52 student athletes that have earned this honor. As we call your name, please come up to the far steps and cross the stage to receive your award. Emily Baker, Emily Bryan, Lauren Diller, Nicole Kaiser, Casey Lee, Olivia Meyer, Eric Elysius, Michael Kerrigan, Noah D'Angelo, Ali Faraj, Robert Gentilucci, Liam Grady, Matthew Hibbs, Emerson Mendez, Kristen Johnson, Madison McConnell, Caroline Menges, Melissa Panacity, Libby Strayer, Matt Dillon, Clayton Hagenduke, Matthew Krupa, Christopher Michelone, Adam Osborne, Alyssa Decker, Annie Ruggles, Taylor Stoudnauer, Patricia Whalen, Brittany Boslett, Marina Scipioni, Kaylee Strittmatter, Shannon Zimmerman, Alexis Franks, Eva Gerhardt, Maria Gibson, Amanda Vitti, Caleb Marasco, Dominic Woods, Dylan Appelman, Bradley Kolditz, Tommy Kissick, Jonathan Rule, Jonathan Darcy, Luke Key, Andrew Ung, Tao Yang, Chase Klauser, Mike Marley, Dinah Johnson, Lauren O'Donnell, Nicole Watt, and Kayla Gardner. Let's have a round of applause for these AMCC individual peak performers. Several student athletes this year have been selected for induction into Chi Alpha Sigma, which is the National College Student Athlete Honor Society. When we call your name, please make your way to the stage. Asia James, Sherry Moore, Alexis Franks, Lauren O'Donnell, and Jim Schomburg. We can come to you, Jim. We can come to you if you want. Challenging.
Yeah, no, is he going to come?
The mission of Chi Alpha Sigma is to encourage and reward high academic scholarship of student college athletes and accredited college universities. To gain membership, this person must be a junior or senior of academic standing, carry a minimum 3.4 cumulative GPA, and have lettered in a varsity sport. Inductees must also be of good moral character and be recommended for induction by the athletic department. Each inductee is presented with a certificate of membership, a lapel pin, and a Chi Alpha Sigma medallion that is to be worn during graduation ceremonies. Let's have a big round of applause for the Chi Alpha Sigma inductees. Next, we have the Ferdina M. Ingold Academic Excellence Award. This award recognizes student athletes who earned a 4.0 semester grade point average during their traditional season of competition. This award is sponsored by Ferdina M. Ingold Enhancement Endowment. When your name is called, please come to the stage to receive your award. The recipients of the Academic Excellence Award for Spring 16 and Fall 16 are Bryce Siebert, baseball, Ashley Struble, softball, Sergio Miguel, tennis, Nicole Watt, bowling and softball, Emerson Mendez, soccer, Kristen Johnson, soccer, Madison McConnell, soccer, and Taylor Stoudnauer, tennis.
Congratulations, nice work.
Let's have a round of applause for these impressive student athletes' achievements. season, the coaches for the AMCC vote on all conference teams, which are made up of student athletes with standout athletic achievement and sportsmanship. If you were selected as an all-conference player on the first, second, or third team or honorable mention during the 16-17 year, please stand now and be recognized. It's now time for our team-by-team recognition awards. The Sportsmanship Award recognizes the student athlete who has shown through their actions and attitude the best qualities of sportsmanship. The Coaches Award recognizes the athlete who best demonstrates throughout the season the true spirit of Lion athletics. It is given not only for hard work, sacrifice, and personal improvement, but for the willingness to understand, learn, and enter a partnership with the coach and teammates in an effort to achieve one's full potential. The Most Valuable Athlete Award is to honor the student athlete who has made the biggest impact on the success of his or her team. Participation awards will also be given to student athletes who competed on a Penn State Altoona team for 3 or 4 years. So to kick it off, we'd like to welcome women's basketball head coach Casey Schaup.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending. This is a great ceremony to take time to reflect upon the past season. But before we get started with that, I would like to say thank you to a few folks, to the athletic department for all of your support. Dr. Bechtel-Weary, we saw you many times at the games. Thank you very much for coming out to support us. Jess, the athletic trainer, our bus drivers, Paul and Terry, for getting us to and from safely. Also, a special thanks goes out to the assistant coaches for women's basketball, John and Lindsay. Without them, we wouldn't be as successful as we have been. I'd also like to thank my family at home, Ernie and my 2 girls, Gracie and Lainey, for the time in which they spend with me on the basketball court, recruiting and also cheering from in the stands. But my biggest thanks goes out to the 11 ladies who sacrificed their time away from their families to participate in a sport that they love, that they enjoy with one another. So thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. This past season, we finished 6th and 16, and we overcame quite a bit of turbulence along the way. Before the season even started, unfortunately, we lost a starting guard to a knee injury, which was devastating. Senior year, all she wanted to do was finish strong, and that was cut short a little bit by an injury in a scrimmage. First play of the game at an opening tournament, we lose our starting point guard, Alexis Stitt, to an injury again. So we traveled with 2 pieces that were our backbone. And I'll tell you what, we had some great people step up and take on a challenge. And I'm very grateful for all of the hard work that they did put in. Mid-season, we had 2 players come in and join us. One was a transfer student and one was a student on campus who couldn't play, unfortunately, in the fall, but joined us afterwards. And they added a lot of depth to the team. There are 11 wonderful women that truly, outside of a basketball court, I would trust them with my life. They are just really great people. And like I said, I do really honestly thank you. Moving forward with the awards, the AMCC Sportsmanship Award was selected to go to Shannon Zimmerman. For any of you that know Shannon, she is a wonderful human being, kindest person you will ever meet. She will battle you hard on the court, knock you down, but extend a hand to help you get right back up. She's quite the shot blocker. She blocked quite a few shots over the course of the last couple of seasons, turned around, said excuse me to the person that she just blocked the shot on or helped them up off the floor, and just continued on her merry little way. But outside of the basketball court, she does a lot within the community. She helps out. She's a nursing student, so she puts in a lot of time at her clinicals over at the hospital. She's giving back in more ways than one could ever imagine. She's very, very deserving of that sportsmanship award. Unfortunately, she could not be with us this evening. Moving on to our next award, we have selected Nicole Grip as our Coaches Award. Thank you. Go ahead. Nicole put in a ton of effort. She's actually one of our very first recruits that Lindsay, John, and I went after 4 years ago. And she has grown significantly within the past 4 years. The reason that we chose Nicole for the Coaches Award is, as I was saying, she unfortunately was cut short for her season year due to an injury. This kid had so much determination and heart while she was out to get back on the court. But in the process, what stood out leaps and bounds beyond anything else was the fact that she was there to support her fellow players. She also gave a lot of guidance on and off the court, which one could, only ask for such a great teammate. She truly is a wonderful young lady and very well deserving of the Coaches Award. No good point. Our final award goes to our MVP. This also goes to another senior, Brittany Boslett. She has been a force to be reckoned with on the court. If she's not staring you down with those killer eyes, she's definitely attacking you offensively. The kid can knock down well beyond the three-point line. But most impressively for us, she has stepped into a role as a leader, being there to support her fellow teammates. She is one who wrangles them in when we start to get frazzled throughout games, or we kind of have those moments of chaos, and she's able to be our voice of reason and get us wrapped up and back on the straight and narrow. She has done a lot for our program, and we truly are very thankful for her. So our MVP award goes to Brittany.
And we also have the participation awards, 3-year participants Shannon Zimmerman and Megan Wheeler. And of course the 4-year participants Brittany Boslett and Nicole Grip. Next, I'd like to welcome to the stage Doug Simmons from women's tennis and men's tennis.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to start by thanking all of those who help and support the tennis team. Talked about Wary, Brent, Tiffany, Jess, Connor, John, Greg, anyone else I might be missing. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. I also want to thank my assistant coach, Scott Pickrell, for helping me throughout both seasons. I know the guys team in particular, they love your musical selections on the long car trips. So for the women's team, we had a really good season, especially when you consider the amount of roster turnover that our team experienced. I only had 2 returning players, and with the incoming freshmen, I had 5 players who had to be inserted into our starting lineup. We finished the regular season with a 500 record and a 6-6 overall win-loss. In conference, we finished 5-3, and we made it to the AMCC playoff tournament. I was extremely proud of how my team played, and I feel like the future is really bright for our tennis team, especially since we have some really good four-year players who are going to be sticking around for the next 3 years. So I'm really, really excited. On to the awards. MVP. My MVP this year goes to a freshman who really exceeded all expectations. I knew she'd be good based upon her high school results, but she really did a tremendous job for us. Her singles record was an impressive 8-3 at number 2 singles, and she went 8-4 in doubles at the number 1 spot. She drove her opponents crazy, and I loved watching every minute of it. My MVP this year is Braylee Lewis.
We have her newcomer of the year plaque, so you can say something about that and give it to her. You can say something about that and give it to her.
For my coach's award, okay. Before that, actually, Braylee was also given the Women's Tennis Newcomer of the Year for the AMCC Conference, so that obviously deserves congratulations as well. For the Coach's Award, I decided to give it to a player that I honestly associate with the Penn State Altoona's women's tennis program. She's been with me for my entire coaching career, and it just isn't going to be the same without her. This player set the all-time Penn State Altoona record for singles wins with 31 wins, and she also set the all-time record for doubles wins with 30. And when you consider the fact that for doubles, she never had the same partner any year, that's a pretty impressive feat. I'd say goodbye, but luckily I know that she's going to be around next semester, so I don't have to really let her go. My coach's award goes to Michelle Colucci. And for our team sportsmanship award, this player was always cheering the team on, a positive influence in all of our matches. Our sportsmanship award goes to Taylor Stoutenauer. We have a 4-year participation award. As I said, Michelle's been with me since I took over, so for 4 years, for Michelle Colucci. On to the, should probably be going to the men's season next, I'm assuming. Yeah. That's not the men's team. Okay, the men's season. They saw a pretty drastic improvement from last year. Last year, we finished the season 3-7, and we didn't quite make the playoffs, whereas this year, we ended the season with a positive 7-4 record. We finished 3rd overall in our conference, and we saw some contributions from every single one of our players. In fact, every single one of my 8 players played in a match. And again, I think we have a very bright future. For my MVP award, it was really difficult to pin down. Players like Carlos Ceballos and Terry Young made huge contributions and did everything that I asked of them, and other players stood out as well. But deep down, there was one player on the team who I think everyone counted on every match to come up big. This guy stepped into the #1 singles position in his first season, and he was able to record a respectable 5-6 record, especially playing against the incredible competition that he was going up against. He switched double partners a couple times throughout the season, and his matches were always close and competitive. I'm also extremely excited about his future with our program. My MVP goes to Jake College. For the men's team's coaches award, I wanted to give it to someone who really improved from last year to this year. I joked with him a lot this year because last year he won a total of 1 match. It's not because he didn't compete or anything. All of his matches were extremely close, but in the end it seemed like he always just came up a little bit short. And this season was the complete opposite. He did a 180 and he ended the season with a 7-4 record, and he was always one of the players that our team could count on for a victory. He even won a deciding match against Pitt Greensburg in an absolute marathon where players they just kept battling back and forth. His turnaround this season is why I'm giving my coach's award to Thomas Graydon.
He's getting his sportsmanship too, right?
Yep. And for our team sportsmanship award, the award goes to also Thomas Graydon. And Thomas is a 3-year participation member for our tennis team. Keeps getting awards.
These are your tickets for everybody.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Next, I would like to call up to the stage for women's soccer, Pam Snyder-Edders.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I, too, would also like to say a few thank yous, of course, to Dr. Bechtel-Wary for not only your support of athletics as a spectator, but I cannot tell you how excited I am about the investment that we're putting not only into the athletics department, but also into the kinesiology major. I've had so much more interest and a lot more luck with recruits as a result. And I think that we're extremely excited for the future. Brent, I'd like to thank you for working with us through a pretty rocky season. Tiffany, John, who I know I'm a big pain. Jess, for taking care of all of our injured. The bus drivers for getting us to and from safely. Mo, the men's coach, he's also kind of an assistant coach for the women's team. A lot of times I'll bring him in and he'll repeat exactly what I've said to the girls, but somehow they hear him and not me. So it's always great to have his voice. Of course, my assistant coach, Rachel, she's also really stuck with this program and with me through some good and bad times, and I appreciate her for that. And also my husband and my 2 daughters. They put up with me being away a lot, and it's very taxing, but they know how much I love coaching and how much I love the sport. So I appreciate their patience and understanding. This year, I also want to make a few other notes. I do want to congratulate Phil and the men's volleyball team. It's very exciting to see your success, and I think that's incredible, and I hope you continue that and to continue seeing that. I know Phil works incredibly hard, and he also sacrifices a lot. So. And another thing I just have to mention, I did want to thank our new men's basketball coach, David. He did allow me to come and sit in on a basketball practice. And I think that the women's team has been searching a little bit for a few answers. And I thought with some professional development and seeing what has happened to a team that had previously struggled, and he worked with you guys, and he clearly took away the individual, and it was just so fun to watch the men's basketball team turn it around this year and elevate your game and be a team. And it was a lot. It meant a lot to me to come and shadow a practice and to see you guys succeed. So I want to thank you for that as well. I'll go ahead and get to the awards. Unfortunately, a lot of the girls are not here this evening, either because they've already left or because they have some other pretty sincere commitments. I will make mention of them, however. Our Sportsmanship Award this year was given to Caroline Menges. Caroline is currently in Africa, so she's not here. She's quite far away. But Caroline is just an incredible person. She's always very giving of her time. One of the sweetest and nicest people I have come to coach on the team. She works incredibly hard. She's always the one coming up to the coaching staff and asking how she can improve and what she can do to make herself better. And she puts time in off the court or off the field as well with volunteering. And I think that she was truly deserving of that honor. The second award is for our MVP. Shoshana Mahoney is also not able to be here this evening. She is with a dear friend at home whose father is not doing well, and she's giving some time to her friend. But she's still worth quite a few mentions here. She was second team All-AMCC this season with 10 goals and 2 assists. She's currently 8th all-time in points, 9th all-time in points per game, 6th all-time in goals, 7th in goals per game, 2nd in game-winning goals, 2nd in shots attempted, 2nd in shots per game, 1st in shots on goal. And I have no doubt that as a senior, she is going to come back and just have an incredible season. With the girls we have coming in and with the girls we have returning, we're pretty excited to see what she's capable of with a solid support staff behind her. My third recipient is here this evening. So you can get that one ready. Molly Malone is our Coaches Award recipient. Molly, this is her second season with us, and unfortunately she will be moving on to University Park for next season. But when we were in need of a goalkeeper to really step up, she did so. And I don't think I've ever seen someone surprise me in such a good way as she did this year. And not just me, but I think our entire team was just really in awe of the effort and the growth that she had from her freshman campaign to her sophomore campaign. She, in 2 years, is 4th all-time in saves, 1st in saves per game, 3rd in save percentage, 6th in shutouts, and 4th in goals against average as just a sophomore. So she has done just a tremendous job. She kept us in a lot of games this year, and we appreciate all the hard work that she put in for us.
Next for men's soccer, I'd like to welcome up Mo Taylor.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First, I just want to say thank you to Dr. Laura Bectoreri, Brent Beard, the entire athletic staff, Tiffany, Connor, the bus drivers, Jess. You pretty much take care of us and get us where we need to go in more ways than one. So I want to say just thank you. To all the coaches, when you have a tough loss and a fellow coach stop you along the way and give you a word of encouragement, it's truly appreciated. And most times if you do get a win and you get a congratulations, it's truly also appreciated. So again, just for you guys being consistently a part of the entire process in terms of athletics, I really want to say again, thank you guys. To my players, again, I'm fortunate enough to have a group that makes it really, really fun. The older I get, the more I spend time away from my family and stuff like that. I value that, I miss that, and when I'm around these guys right here, it's truly like extended family. So again, I really appreciate the vibe that you bring to training, the grit, the passion that you bring, the commitment, and it goes over and over, and it's truly appreciated. It's a lot of fun for me, and again, I can't say thank you guys enough. Our season this year, we had our 11-8-1 record. We had some special moments along the way. We had a 9-goal game with 3 different players scoring 3 goals. Our freshman Jake Weaver earned Defensive ECAC Player of the Week and AMCC Player of the Week all in the same week. Luke Nelson earned Offensive Player of the Week. We had 5 players on the all-conference team, and we finished 3rd in the conference. Made a trip to the ECAC, where we eventually lost to Penn State Harrisburg. All in all, a pretty successful season, and again, the passion, the commitment, the grit that the guys showed, it was a really, really exceptionally fun ride for me as a coach. I'll get to my awards. Sportsmanship. Our sportsmanship award goes to a player that is a sophomore. We asked him to do whatever, and he's up for it. It doesn't matter if I look at him and say, go play in goal. He'll say, Liam Grady, move along, and he'll jump in. He's just a really, really gritty player, and he never really gets into it with the referees because, again, his manner and everything that he brings to the table is always top-notch. And for that, our sportsmanship award goes to Mike Carrigan. Coaches Award. Very hard choosing a Coaches Award because, again, I think we have so many awesome personalities in our team. But again, it goes down to a couple things for me. Again, I'm a big proponent of grit, especially in sports. Talent alone sometimes is not enough. You got to have that, and you got to have consistency. You have to have fun, and you have to stay open to new ideas. And this player, he resembles all that and more. He's a coach on the field when he's out there playing. He has more fun in practice sometimes than games, and he truly appreciates the process. So my Coaches Award goes to Seth Morrell. Our MVP. Our MVP has been with us for 2 years. Can't say enough about him. As a player, I describe him as having some of the quickest feet I've seen, and I've been around the game for a while. He surely has fun out there and very elusive, one of the top offensive player in the league. I think in 2 years, he's like top 10 all time in goals scored. Game winners, just total points, and just a fun guy to have on your team. And again, I can't say enough. I'm going to miss you. Matt Hibbs, come get your MVP. That's pretty much it for tonight. Again, thank you, all you guys. Good luck on your finals. Guys, moving on to University Park. I want to say just enjoy. Hopefully everything works out, and we're going to miss you guys.
And we have the participation awards for men's soccer. Some of them are here. If you're here, come on up to the stage. 3-year participants: Alhaji Umaru Karoma, Seth Morrell, and Colton Ebersol. And 4-year participants: Chris Learn and Robert Gentilici. Next, I'd like to welcome up men's basketball head coach David McGrail.
All right, I've promised everybody I'm sitting next to I'm going to keep this under 20 minutes. I'm trying fast. I'm going to talk really fast. Some of you guys looking at me with gaze over your eyes. Again, I feel every one of y'all deserve at least 20, 30 minutes talked about you. The things you go through on a daily basis, being an NCAA Division III student athlete, the things you have to deal with, both academically, athletically, financially. You guys deserve this night. I wish we could do more for you, to be honest with you. But first off, thank yous again. First person I got to give thanks to is not here, and that's my lovely wife, Jamie. Without her, I wouldn't be here right now. She allowed me to follow my dream, gave up her dream as a head coach down in LaGrange College, so she should be watching, probably not, but I love you, babe, if you are. Riley, leave mommy alone and put down the knife and quit hitting Jolie. Also, special thanks, obviously, to Brent Baird, the athletic director, who took a chance on me, some guy from Georgia who you guys have never heard of, so I really appreciate you and taking a chance on me and giving me this opportunity. Tiffany in the office, first off, for having to put up with me every day, but Tiffany does a lot for our office. I call her the asterisk because she does almost everything. She's an artist, she's an auctioneer, she's a great employee, so we're lucky to have her. Connor Gilbert, man, the things that you do on a daily basis, covering every single sport. I mean, you do the work of about 5 people, and you do it great, man. Keep it up. Same thing with Jess Welsh, who isn't here. You know, one athletic trainer for 13 sports. I mean, if she doesn't deserve a raise, I don't know who in this world doesn't. So great job to Jess. Coach Schaup in the women's team, thank you for putting up with me and my bipolarness, especially on the road trips. Again, I appreciate you guys putting up with us. We had some good times and some bad times on those road trips. But anyway, thank you. Dr. Lori Bechtel-Weary, thank you for your support and being at the games and all the kind words you have from me this year. I really appreciate all your support and continued support, and look to be here for a while and build some really good relationships. Dr. Victor Brunson, who's not here, you know, he's our student athletics rep. I definitely used up, I think, a couple free passes with Dr. Brunson already, but I thank you for all you've done for us. Paul, Terry, the bus drivers, thank you for the long rides and getting us there safely. You know how I feel about snowy roads, but great job. All the Adler staff, John Carey, Miss Lori especially. You know, I've been coaching 16 years and actually have somebody that does your laundry for you. You don't know how lucky you are, coaches, because most schools at this level, the assistant coach is doing all the laundry. So you need to thank Ms. Lori if you haven't already. Coach Scanlon, John Carey again, and Josh for putting up with me, going over my practice times and keeping everybody at bay. John Yon and the pep band, John Anderson and the cheerleaders, the dance team, Sean Kelly and Matt Stump for doing a great job with the Roar Zone, James Nader for being probably the best fan at the Division III level I've ever seen. He's at every home game. That dude is amazing. You talk about losing some of the UP. We're all going to be losing our #1 fan next year, and that's James. Joel for helping out as well at the home games. The admissions office doing a great job helping me get some students in last minute. Financial aid office, the ladies in the registrar office, Coach Bernard and Coach Keeley, the voices of the Lions basketball, both at the games and online. They do a great job. Thank you for all you guys do. Seriously, Nancy Faulkner and Joe Brandt, our scores table people, even though there's a couple games I wasn't really happy with them, but they've done a great job. The rest of the coaching staff, again, Coach Peterman, Coach Snyder, Mo, you guys have done a great job. Thank you for taking me into your fraternity. Coach Morelli, great job as well. And really appreciate you guys taking time and taking me in and really helping me out, learn the ropes here at Penn State Altoona. And I can't say enough thanks without my last person, and that's my main man, Ryan Lamb, right there. For those of you guys don't know the story, I had an assistant coach. Unfortunately, he was let go halfway through the year, and Ryan Lamb was my main man. He was a student assistant. He was a manager. He was a rebounder. He did everything, and most importantly, put up with me being mean to him, but he did a great job. So, Ryan, seriously, thank you for all you did, buddy. All right. When I took this job, there were a lot of different things going through my mind. Never lived this far north. What am I going to do about the winter? The team, the history of the program, the history of the school, and had a lot of different emotions through this decision. Had a chance to meet all the returners and all the newcomers that I knew were coming before, and I felt really confident that with the right attitude, with the right program, with the right system in place, that we could have a very successful season. Obviously, there was a nice nucleus of guys coming back, a pretty decent nucleus of guys coming in, including a couple I was able to bring in last minute. And so the expectations at the beginning of the year, while they were tempered, I still felt like we had a good chance of having a good season. And when we met for the first time in the first legal meeting, we set some goals. We set some team. Oh, all right. We set some team meetings and some team goals, and through those team goals, you know, everything from trying to make the conference tournament, being conference champions, so on and so forth. While we had a nice start to the season, we started 3-0 in the conference for the first time in school history. We started 4-3 overall in our first 7 games. Things seemed to be going okay, and then we hit a little rough patch. Some of that had to do with some changeover. We lost some guys due to me letting some go, and then we lost a guy to some grades. So we went on a little 5-game losing streak there and had to regroup, and we really did. And it really kind of all came together. After our 5-game losing streak, we went to the Mount. We played Mount on a Wednesday. It was we had a 3-game week, which normally we just have 2 conference games, but we had 2 on the weekend just due to our flex date. And we went down to Mount, had a great game at Mount, had a great, you know, team win. We won by about 20 at Mount. And then we came into that weekend, we had our arch rivals, the Penn State, whatever that our school is over there by that big lake, came in here. And in all honesty, we'd struggled against them. Going into that game, they had beaten us 16 times in a row. And, yeah, that's what I said. I'm 1-1 against them. I don't know about that. But going into that game, you guys that were there, you guys that have Instagram or Twitter have seen the shot. And again, Javon Wilson has a lot of things that he's done for this program. But the whole team, you know, was lifted by that buzzer beater to beat Barron last second in overtime. And I think from that point on, we just took off. From that point on, we went 10-4. We qualified for the tournament. We had a lot of great team accomplishments. You know, there's 10 teams on the men's side. We swept 5 of the 9 conference opponents we play against, okay? And that's never been done in the history of the men's basketball program. So that's something to definitely hang our hat on. So, again, we set some team goals. And at the end of the season rolled around, we had reached almost every one of them, including we tied for the most wins in the NCAA era with 14. We tied for the longest winning streak in the school's history. We set the best conference record in the school's history at 12-6. We set the best record for home games at 8-2. We qualified for the conference tournament for the first time since 2009. We hosted a conference game for the first time since 2009. We won a conference game for the first time since 2009. And we got the first postseason bid with the ECAC bid, first time since 2009. I can't be more proud of this team and what they came through, the adversity that they faced. You know, the seniors, I was their 3rd coach in 4 years. You know, imagine that. 3rd coach in 4 years. And for them to believe in me, to buy into my system, for the most part, I just can't imagine anything better other than winning the conference maybe, but for what we did and what we accomplished, this team will always go down in history as, first off, my first collegiate team that I've ever been head coach for, and I'll never forget these guys as a team, and they deserve a round of applause for the season they had. All right, really quickly, okay, and this has to be said. 7 wins last year, 14 this year, doubled the win total. Last year, we were 8th in AMCC, finished in 4th this year. In AMCC alone, we were 4th in free throw percentage. I'll just say what we led the conference in. I won't do all those. We led the conference in free throws attempted, free throws made, offensive rebounds per game, total rebounds per game, and blocked shots per game. Javon Wilson was first team all-conference. Ish Nance, second team all-conference. Anton Lucas was a defensive player of the year runner-up. Nationally, okay, there's 416 Division III teams in men's basketball, 416. So to be in the top 10% in the nation, you got to be 41st or higher, right? We were 41st in the nation in offensive rebounds, 38th in the nation in turnovers forced, 30th in nation in total rebounds, 29th in the nation in rebounds per game, 24th in steals per game, 17th in total steals, 17th in the nation in block shots per game, 15th in the nation in free throws made, 13th in the nation in free throws attempted, and we were 11th in the nation in total block shots on the season. That's a great year, guys. Congratulations again. All right, before we get to the individual awards, Javon reached his 1,000-point mark. You guys might have saw the plaque. So at that game, Javon got his own little, stand up, Javon. Congratulations, 1,000-point. Only the sixth player in the history of the game. You're going to come up later, sit down. Only the sixth player in the history of the school. So, of course, a couple of my other seniors who finished their career as the #1 statistical leader in a couple categories felt a little slighted because Javon's third all-time in scoring. So I told those guys, I said, if you guys break the records, if you are the first in your categories, you will get a ball too. So I like to present a ball to the all-time leading rebounder in Penn State Altoona history, Jordan Smith, and the all-time leader in block shots in Penn State Altoona history, Anton Lucas. Y'all come up here, man. There you go, man. Congratulations. Real quick. I mean, to be first at all time in anything, man, that's an accomplishment. It shows their commitment over a 4-year period. Let's give them a round of applause. All-time leaders, rebounds, block shots, Penn State Altoona history. All right, for the individual awards, sportsmanship award was voted on by, the teammates, and this guy also was our co-captain. A guy who has a ton of potential. He's obviously got the height for a basketball player. We got to work on his strength a little bit, but this guy, anytime a player came out, we wanted, the team supposed to stand up and shake the guy's hands who come out. I don't care what time it was in the game, how many minutes he played, he was the first one up that shook every guy's hand that came out of the game, and when he came out of the game, he deserved the same. And I can't be prouder to be this guy's coach. I get a chance to coach him for 2 more years, looking for big things from him. Sportsmanship Award, Marshall Higley. Coach's Award, this was a tough one for me. There's a few guys that I thought deserved it, but in the essence of the word Coach's Award, I thought it should be the person that reminds you the most of yourself. And for those of you who know me, I'm very emotional. I like to yell. I love basketball. I'm very competitive. It means a lot to me to be part of a team, and I never want it to end. This young man sacrificed a lot of his individual accomplishments, including points. The guy was a double-figure scorer as a junior and didn't get that opportunity as much because of my offense, that I'm more of a guard-oriented coach, hence because I'm a guard. But he never complained much. But he's a guy, again, that if you look at the record books of Penn State Altoona, the history, this guy is all over it. For the defensive side of the ball, especially rebounding. This guy is tied for 3rd in games played in a season. He's 10th all-time in games played. He's 6th in games started, 10th in minutes, 10th in free throws made, 7th in free throws attempted, 7th in field goal made, 7th in total points at 849, 6th all-time in defensive rebounding, 5th all-time in offensive rebounding, 5th all-time in rebounding average. He's the all-time leader in offensive rebounds, all-time leader in defensive rebounds, and as we just saw, the all-time leader in overall rebounds. Coach's Award, Jordan Smith. You know, he and I got into it a few times during the game, and people were going, "Oh my God, he coaches award." Well, I like I said, he's a lot like me. We yelled at each other, and after the game, we cried and hugged, so it's all good. Well, I cried. He didn't cry. All right. Secretly. All right. MVP. All right. You know, again, this guy, I mean, it's probably somewhat obvious, but just to put in perspective the year that this young man had, not only the career, but just the year that this young man had. All right. I'm going to go over it. I'm a stats guy. I'm an analytic now. That's all the big thing in sports. I'm an analytic guy. All right. Season records. This season alone, this young man set all these records in the top 10 in all-time history of Penn State Altoona in season records. 7th in assists in a season. 7th in assists per game. Yeah, it surprised me too. Tied for 3rd in games played in a season. 3rd in field goals attempted. 5th in field goals made. 4th in points per game. 5th in free throws attempted. 2nd in free throws made. 3rd in three-point field goals made in the season. He set the season record this season in three-point field goals attempted, steals in a season, steals per game in a season, and he tied the record for most points in a single season. He was first team all-conference, second team all-ECAC, all-tournament team at the conference tournament, 3-time AMCC Player of the Week during the season, scored 30 points 3 different times, including in a tournament. I mean, I don't know where the season would be without him. You know, again, he said something to me. Well, actually, he said it on the news story, and I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. And it meant a lot to me because Javon, if you don't know Javon, he's not really an emotional type guy. And he said on the news story that he wished he had another year to play under me. Well, Javon, I wish I had another 4 years to coach you, buddy. My MVP, Javon Wilson. I would go over his career records, but it would take too long. I'll try not to. All right. There you go, buddy. Proud of you. All right. Now, for our participation awards, I'm going to say it because I really think all these seniors need to be recognized for the things they've done. They're all on the 150 times. If you look at the overall career, season, and game records for Penn State basketball, men's basketball, our guys' names are on there 150 times, just this group in this room right here, 150 times, including a couple guys that won't get mentioned, so I'll mention them. Cam, our freshman, tied the record for second most blocks in a game this year, and Ishmael Nance, who is second team all-conference, tied the record for most steals in a game this year, so they should be recognized as well. Now, third-year participant, Tay Charles. Come up, Tay. Tay has game records. He's tied for 10th in free throws made, 9th for steals in a game, 5th for field goal percentage of the game. His career records include he is 6th all-time in steals. He's 7th in steals per game. He's 5th all-time in assists per game. He's 3rd all-time in assists in a career, and he's 3rd all-time in free throw percentage. He shot 80% for his career at Penn State Altoona. Tate Charles. He deserves a round. The next guy, Anton Lucas. Come up, Anton. He's a 4-year participant. Anton's on the career records list. He's 10th all-time in field goals attempted. He's 7th all-time in free throws with 158. He's 8th all-time in free throws attempted. He's 5th all-time in rebounds, 7th all-time in defensive rebounds, 6th all-time in offensive rebounds. He's 5th all-time in assists. He's 4th all-time in steals. He's 7th in games played, 7th in games started, 5th in block shots per game, and as we said earlier, he's the all-time leader in block shots. Anton Lucas, 4-year letterman. And last but certainly not least, my wife right now is pregnant with a boy, and if my son turns out anything like Quinn Lohr, I'll be a lucky father. Quinn Lohr, 4-year letterman. He holds the game records. He's tied for first all-time with free throw percentages in the game. He went 10 for 10 in a game twice. He has season records. He's 10th all-time in free throws made in the season, 7th in the season in three-pointers made, 3rd in three-pointers attempted. He's 3rd all-time in free throw percentage in the season. He shot 88% on the year this year from free throws, which was 32nd in the nation. So that's pretty good. There's over 5,000 players. He's 32nd in the nation. And he's tied for most games started in the season. He's 6th all-time in three-pointers attempted in the history of Penn State Altoona. He's 9th in his career in three-pointers made. He's 8th in games played, and he's a 7th all-time free throw shooting percentage person in Penn State Altoona history. And also, he was on the all-tournament team for the Coaches versus Cancer tournament. Quinn Lord, full-year letterman. Also, four-year participants, Javon Wilson, Jordan Smith. Congratulations. I'm done. 19 minutes and 52 seconds. All right.
Coach McGill's talking about all those records he broke. I think he broke the record for the longest speech up here. We're going to have a couple comments by Quinn there now.
Make sure Coach stays up here. So I first talked to Coach over the summer. He called me, and when I first talked to him, it was like an hour-and-a-half conversation that I didn't really think was going to come anything of it, but it ended up being the most genuine conversation about our future here at Penn State Altoona. I haven't even met the man, and I still felt as if we had a potential future here at Penn State Altoona that was going to be insurmountable. I was still kind of defensive just because of, you know, our situation. We had 3 coaches in 4 years. Like, that's never been heard of. It was very emotionally hard to deal with sometimes, but he was the first one to step in and help us understand everything and help us understand that he was there for us and he was there to make sure that we're going to get the best out of everything. To the open gyms at Adler, just to get us to run up and down the court, to the open gyms at the Building 2, which I never even knew existed here. Just to get us to run up and down the court and just to get us to fight every day to get shots up. I've never had that as a player, and for my coach to step up and come to me, only meeting me for my first year here, that was insurmountable to me just because it showed that he's ready to play, and that means that I need to, as myself, also need to bring it and also be able to ready to play. To him coming in day and out and not only dealing with the same adversity as us throughout the season, like we've been through everything. This is the first season I've ever been through everything as a player. But not only that, but he helped us push through and helped us come through on the end. Like when those days that we weren't really feeling it and those days that we were kind of out of it just because of school, he was the first one to step up. And he was the first one to make sure that we were all with it and make sure that we're here because we had an overall goal, like he said. To have the success that we've had this year, I firmly believe that we owe him everything. And I hope I can get some help by thanking him in the end, but from the bottom of my heart, Coach, I want to thank you by presenting you with this first picture of us making our first playoffs this year.
Next, I'd like to call up from women's and men's swimming, Greg Scallon.
It's on the page right there.
Got it. All right. Coach, you're a hard act to follow because, you know, I used to have that record for the longest, and you blew me out of the water. Hey, congratulations. I just want to congratulate all the programs here tonight. Being here full-time all the time, as a staff member, I see the extra work that you athletes are putting in some pretty dismal conditions, but of course, come fall, that's just going to be a beautiful thing to be a part of. But I commend you for your dedication and your commitment to your varied sports. That's something as a coach that I love to see, regardless of the sport, is that dedication and commitment to what you're doing. Everybody had a friendly face, kind words to say, and that goes a long way. So I really appreciate you, and congratulations to the successes of all these teams. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the successes of mine. First, I'd like to talk about the women, and they are quite a group. They were phenomenal this year. That's all I can really say. Had 10 of them, and each and every one of them committed, and each and every one of them gave of themselves. When one was down, the other would kind of pick the other one up. And we had some very, very strong personalities on this team. I can tell you that. But in the end, it all worked quite well. The cohesiveness was there. The championships were just fantastic. We had a great taper. All of our girls swam season bests or personal bests. We had 6 school records that were broken. So now we're up to 21 for both teams in 6 seasons. So we're making some good progress. We had 2 swimmers do quite well. Well, they all did quite well because they all scored points. But in particular, we had a gold medalist in the 200 back, which was also a school record, in Emily Booz, and she also has a school record in the 200 IM and the 3 relays that scored school records. And also Peyton Zemer was the conference runner-up in the 400 IM. If anybody has ever had the opportunity to swim at 400 IM, that is the most grueling race that there is. It's 100 yards of each stroke discipline, and you've got to be dedicated to do that. It pains me to watch it, let alone swim it. But we had some great happenings with the gals. Again, the women brought home their 4th AMCC Peak Performer Award. So the academic excellence that is expected in our program continues, and I'm very proud of those achievements. And without further ado, I will go to our Sportsmanship Award. This goes to a young lady who has had to deal with a lot of Okay. We also have 3-year participation award winners, Alexis Franks and Maria Gibson. Would you come forward, please? Okay, ladies. Thank you very much, ladies, and we look forward to a great year next year, too. Now on to the men's team, young men's team, a very young men's team. We had all freshmen. I've got 2 that are leaving, 1 senior and 1 sophomore. And I'll tell you, they started out pretty green. And those 5:30 a.m. practices weren't something that was too appealing, but once they got the eyes opened and realized what they could accomplish with that work and effort, the light started to come on. And there wasn't to say there wasn't some adversity and some struggle from here. We had a couple that had other personal things that had to take place, who had to jump ship, no pun intended, and do other things with their lives. So we were down to 10. But those 10 devoted themselves, and again, we had schedule issues with some of them, so they'd have to come in and swim at night during the open lap swim, which they did do consistently. And when they competed, they competed with a good deal of grit, which is what I like to see as a coach. I like my kids to be aggressive and not be timid, and none of these guys were timid in the water at all. So the season went quite well. Again, we had a couple of individuals that were selected as Swimmers of the Week. We had one who was selected the ECAC Rookie of the Week in February as well. So, and again, we won this team its 5th Peak Performer Award. So that's a total of 9 for the program out of a potential 12. So I'm really happy about what they're doing in the classroom, as that's why we're really here. And I won't keep you as long, Coach, but I want to give my Sportsmanship Award this year to a young man who came in. Last summer we talked, and I thought for a while there he was about the shyest person I've ever met in my life. Then all of a sudden practice starts. Well, he just had a hard time keeping the cake hole shut sometimes, but he learned, and he did fine, and he was always there to support everybody on his team, both in practice, which is really important. He really stepped up. Even though he wasn't a captain, he had a voice, and he had a good presence about himself. And I've been really proud of his efforts in practice and at meets to really lift his teammates up no matter what the situation. This year's Sportsmanship Award goes to Tom Weir. Okay, the next award goes to a young man who has had 2 seasons with me now and has done a fantastic job since day one. He came in with the right attitude, the right expectations, and embraced the culture that we have within our program right away. And that's always pleasant for a coach when they get what you're talking about. And he got it from day one. He was a huge contributor both seasons. He was actually Swimmer of the Week once this year again, as he was his freshman year. Big contributor every week as far as points were concerned. He was number 2 on the list, and I'm going to miss him. He's a good, solid young man who I know is going to do well with whatever he decides to do with his life after he leaves Penn State University. But this year's Coach's Award goes to John Polidoro. Okay. Unfortunately, my most valuable swimmer, he's not able to attend tonight, but he had a marvelous season. Again, very dedicated to his academics, had a lot of labs that interfered with some of his time, but when you got him in the water and he got moving, he gave everything he had every time he was in the water, in practice and in meets. And actually was the bronze medalist in the 100 back. He qualified for finals in all 3 of his events. Did a great job for us. Had the high point for the team, had the highest number of points scored. Unfortunately, he's not here with us tonight, but the most valuable player goes to Alan Schmierak. There we go. Yeah. And the 3-year participation award, Connor Fanks, will you come forward, please? And I know I would be remiss, I always forget to do this at the beginning, but I very much would like to thank my assistant coach for her dedication to the team. It was a great deal of help to me and to the swimmers. Kept all the stats, the snack bag full, the medical bag full, and sometimes emotions under control too. And was very much a help to us this year, and I appreciate your help. Thank you. And to the staff, my colleagues, Chancellor, thank you. I suffered the loss of my dad last month, and I can't tell you how much it meant to me, the outreach and athletes that would send their condolences to me. I was with him in hospice for about 10 days, and it's a tough thing to see. So I know you're young, and when we're young, we think we're invincible. But we're not. And it's really important for you to understand that you are blessed to be a part of a school like this with the people that care about you the way that they do. And you see the coach's passion. It's a wonderful thing to be a part of, and I feel privileged and honored to be on this coaching staff and a part of this university. And I hope that you all will feel that way too when you graduate from this fine institution. But life is a blessing and a gift. Cherish it. Don't take it for granted. And make the best of everything you can while you can, so that you can go say goodbye with no regrets. Okay? So thank you again for your condolences and your warm thoughts and prayers. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Next, I'd like to call up to the stage head women's and men's volleyball coach, Phil Peterman.
Wow, it's nice to know some people like me around here. Well, good evening. I'd like to start by thanking Dr. Bechtel-Weary and Brent for giving me the opportunity to coach here. I'd also like to thank the entire athletics department and staff. You know, Paul, our wonderful bus driver. You know, Jess, awesome trainer. Connor for doing amazing things with all the stats. John Carey and Tiffany as well. I'd also like to thank my assistant coach, Val Brunblatt. She's been my rock for a number of seasons here. She does an awesome job. The teams will tell you she's a great team mom. And for me, she's been a constant rock and support throughout the couple seasons that we've been together. So thank you very much. And lastly, I'd like to thank my wife for giving me the opportunity to live out my dream and coach a collegiate sport, and as well as my two sons who, in my opinion, might be the cutest kids in the stands and the loudest. This past season, both of my volleyball teams had similar results, both making the conference championships. My women's team was 13-4 and 8-1 in the conference. They lost in the conference championship. However, they earned a bid into the ECAC tournament. My men's team had its best season ever. They were 26-7, 15-1 in the conference. My guys won both the AMCC and NEAC conference championships, and they earned a bid to the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history. So I'm so proud of those guys. So for my sportsmanship award for the women's volleyball team, the team voted, and it goes to Emily Bryan. The next award of the evening is my coach's award. This award goes to a girl who has been the heart and soul of my serve, receive, and defense for the past 4 seasons. She was named second team all-conference and will leave Penn State Altoona ranking 3rd all-time in digs per set. She has accumulated over 2,000 career digs in her 4 years here. She ranks 5th all-time in matches played. The award goes to Emily Baker. My next award is the Most Valuable Player Award. This young lady played in all 100 sets this past season. She was first in the team in kills per set, and aces. She was second on the team in digs. She was even named AMCC Player of the Week once. She was named to the first team all-conference team in the AMCC. This award goes to Kelsey Bristol. And our 4-year participation award winner is Emily Baker. On the men's side of things, our sportsmanship award goes to Billy Smith. My coach's award goes to a guy who never let adversity get him down. He battled a fight with cancer, surgery, and went through chemo while saying, "Don't worry, coach, I've got this. I'm not even going to miss a match." And he didn't. He didn't miss a match until he dislocated his ankle 17 minutes prior to our match with Penn State Barron. in the gruesomest injury I've ever seen. And now I even shattered my kneecap in college, and it wasn't that bad. Despite this gruesome injury, he let the doctor set his ankle without being put to sleep so he could come back and support his team the rest of the day. He still never missed a practice, rehab, and came back to play to help us win a conference championship. Every team needs a leader like this. This award goes to Justin Bannister. My final award of the evening is my Most Valuable Player Award. This award goes to a guy who won just about every award imaginable this past season. Recently, he was voted to the ECAC Division III South Region Defensive Player of the Year, and was also selected to first team ECAC All-Star team. He leads all Division III players in this season in digs per set with 494. And also in digs per set with 4.3. He was voted the Defensive Player of the Year and also took first team all-conference honors in the NEAC. In the AMCC, he was first team all-conference as well. During the regular season, he was selected to as the NEAC Defensive Player of the Week, a league high 6 times, while being named the ECAC D3 South Region Defensive Player of the Week 3 times. This award goes to Wally. And finally, I would just like to thank all 28 of my athletes who have bought into the process and bought into being a part of this team and creating a winning tradition here at Penn State Altoona. I'd like to wish all you seniors good luck in all your endeavors and all of you guys moving on to Penn State, Maine as well. Thank you.
Good.
All right, and I got a 3-year participation award winner is Justin. Yeah, participation. Justin Bannister. And then my 4-year participation award winner, Jacob Byers.
Next, I'd like to call up baseball head coach R.J. Bernard.
All right, before I start today, I would just like to start by thanking Lori and Brent for giving me the opportunity to take over the program this year. I would like to thank Victor. I knew I was a pain in the butt for most of the season for him. Connor for all the endless work that he puts in. Jess for taking care of our players. And Terry and for driving the bus, along with Paul, even though he bailed on us halfway through the season because of a little finger injury. But thank you for your work the first half of the season. Coming into this season, we were not exactly sure what to expect of the team. I knew we had some young talent coming in, but we returned only 2 seniors, both pitchers, and 2 everyday starters, and had a roster that consisted of over 20 freshmen. I could not imagine the adversity that this team would be asked to face all season long. After our best Florida trip since 2011, we came back ready for conference play with much optimism. After taking our conference opener against Pitt Greensburg this year, Game 2 took a turn for the worse when we lost 2 of our only returning starters and also our 3 and 4 hitters to season-ending surgeries. However, like the team would do all season long, we recovered and had numerous guys step up and fill the void of these two players. Throughout the remainder of the season, we have had plenty of other sicknesses and minor injuries that prevented guys from playing in many conference games. As we did all season long, other guys stepped up and we continued chugging forward to make 2017 a successful one. At the start of the season, we set many goals for this season. First and foremost, we wanted to improve on our win total from last year. We struggled last year going 11-29. So like I said, we were anticipating a better season, and we also set a goal of reaching the conference playoffs this year. Although our season is not completed yet, we have qualified for the postseason for the first time since 2014 as either the 4 or 5 seed. We had the most wins in school history since 2011 and our first winning AMCC record since 2012. I would especially like to thank our 2 senior pitchers, Jared Daly and Mike Marley. I know they have gone through some dark times here in Penn State baseball the past few years, but we wouldn't have gotten through this season without you with all the adversity we faced all season long with your leadership both on and off the field. Thank you for you two for making my season and 20-plus other freshman seasons memorable this year. On to the awards. Our Sportsmanship Award, I believe for the 2nd consecutive season, was a unanimous decision. This guy, if you check out the statistics, you won't see his name in too many of the statistic categories, but this guy has no idea how much he means to our team. I know the pitching staff really appreciates him. I couldn't even begin to count how many bullpens this kid has caught this year. He's had to give some motivational speeches to the team, and this kid is going to be a great baseball coach someday. So our Sportsmanship Award goes to Will Zadinek. And the Coaches Award. This guy, in my opinion, defines Coaches Award with his work ethic and love for the game. This kid came in as a skinny runt in the fall. He weighed 155 pounds. With the help of our personal trainer, James Mays, Chipotle burritos, and a little time spent in the weight room, he put on 30 pounds. He started the season as a platoon player at second base, batting 6th or 7th in the lineup. After injuries to Jim and Gavin, Pete was kind of unfairly asked to move into the 4 hole. For those of you who know baseball, 4 hitters are approached a little more differently than a guy platooning in the 6th or 7th spot. We're very grateful for the season he had. I wasn't even sure he was capable of putting up numbers like this. He hit .337. He was 2nd on the team in RBIs, 2nd in runs scored, 2nd in doubles, and he just did a fantastic job for us this year all around. Our Coaches Award goes to freshman Pete Jacobs. And MVP. I want to make this clear that this was a total team effort this year, and it was hard choosing just one guy to give the MVP award to, as so many guys stepped up and filled voids that were left behind because of injuries and sicknesses and stuff like this. But we knew coming into this season, this kid had the opportunity of being a special player. He's extremely athletic, and I think after his 4-year career here, he could break many records, and is probably the best shortstop we've ever had here in Altoona. After injuries to Jim and Gavin, like I touched base on earlier, we had to move him down from the leadoff position to the 3 hole. We needed a guy that could drive the baseball and bring in some RBIs. He had .336 for the team. He led the teams in runs, doubles, stolen bases, RBIs, 2nd in team home runs. And like I said, he was the rock defensively for us all year long. So our team MVP goes to freshman Hunter Breon. And finally, I'd like to thank all 30 guys on the team for making my first season here memorable. We've had a great season, and it is not over yet. We're looking forward next weekend to playing in the playoffs and hopefully bringing home a a victory in the first round of the AMCCs. At this time, we would like to give our participation awards. The first award will be the 3-year participant, Jim Schomburg. Four-year participants, Mike Marley, Jared Daly, and Curtis Kreis. Oh, he wasn't on there. We also have one more three-year participant. That'll be Chris Michaelis. Sorry about that, Chris.
I don't think I walked on that. Just kidding. I'm sorry. Let me get something.
Next, I'd like to call up to the stage women's bowling head coach Tony Watt.
First, I'd like to thank you guys for welcoming me here for the first time coaching the women's bowling program. We had a tough year this year with a lot of turnover in our roster, but I'm very proud of the girls, the way they played. They played with so much heart, and the way they finished their season. I'd like to thank Brent, the athletic director, the chancellor here. Thank you all for a great season, and I'm going to go ahead and get started on the awards then. Our sportsmanship award and the coaches award goes to a particular player who's gone above and beyond, helping out teammates, from giving rides to and from practices to helping them at the games and always having a smile on their face. She also had the high game this season with a 219, Nicole Watt. Our MVP goes to our senior this year. She held 5 of the top 8 single high-score games this season. She had a season average of a 166.87, a Baker score average of 13.41 points per frame. She was named to the AMCC Championship All-Tournament team, and I'm going to miss her very much for her leadership. She stuck with us through the program. She had 3 coaches in 4 years. She trusted in me to help her out, Bria Susanic. And then we also have one 4-year participant, Bria Susanic.
Next, I'd like to call up head softball coach Joe Morelli.
First of all, I'd like to thank the athletic department for all their support, Jess and Brent and the chancellor for all your support for athletics here at Penn State Altoona. The softball team has had an up and down year, as you can see by our 17-17 record. We have a very young team. I think we'll continue to grow. We are graduating 2 seniors this year, in Kate Burge and Allie Simpson. I wanted to thank both of them for making my first 2 years here a lot easier coming in. In addition, I wanted to acknowledge Lauren O'Donnell, our only junior on the team, who will not be coming back next year. She's graduating in the fall early. I also want to thank the coaching staff, Jeff McNillis and Rachel DeArmond, for their fine work and putting up with me and some of my strange quotes. And I told Jeff I wasn't going to talk about yesterday's quote I gave him because it might offend some umpires. As I stated, your softball team finished the regular season with a 17-17 record. We're 12-6 in the AMCC. We're seeded 3rd. It's going into the playoffs, and we just found out we will be playing at 10 a.m. in Erie versus Mount Aloysius. Now for our team awards. First, the Sportsmanship Award. This player represents everything positive about a student athlete. She keeps this team loose and makes the team better just by being there. She's the first to be cheering on and getting everyone going when things look bad. She joined our team late this year, and we're thankful we have her on the team. And just like on baseball, I don't know how many bullpens she has caught, but she has caught so many during the year. So our Sportsmanship Award, as voted by the team, goes to Dinah Johnson. On to our Coaches Award. This player is a human highlight reel. I'm surprised ESPN hasn't been here to film her diving all over the field, and or MTV being here filming her doing her pregame dances and so on. When our uniforms are turned in to get washed, Lori has to know who number 1 is on our team, because it has to be the dirtiest uniform on the team. She's regularly diving for balls, diving into bases, and just giving 110% all the time. She leads our team in hitting with a .389 batting average, and again, most interesting dances as she gets ready for the games. Our Coaches Award goes to Haley Giedrock. Okay, our MVP, and this should be to nobody's surprise on campus or throughout the AMCC. Our MVP is Kate Burge. Kate has worked so hard over the last 2 years that I've been here to become the premier pitcher in our conference. Once you get to know Kate, you'll know what an outstanding young lady she is. Kate has set, and I'm not going to go through every record she has set here for pitching, but she has set just about every meaningful pitching record, and mostly over the past 2 years here at Altoona. In addition, she's continued to be a force in the middle of our batting lineup. I could go on and on about this young lady, but I think most of you have already heard me raving about her if you read the quotes at our game recaps. But I do want to tell you what the Franciscan brother that we played on Wednesday said to me. He said, "Tell number 24 she's a beast of a pitcher," and that's a great compliment. The whole AMCC will be happy not to have to face Kate next year. And kid, we're going to go out of the playoffs with a big bang here this weekend. So my MVP goes to Kate Burge. Okay, and now we have the hey, I did that just like him. Participation awards. Our 3-year award goes to Lauren O'Donnell. And our 2 4-year awards go to Allie Simpson, and Kate Burge.
Next, I'd like to call up to the stage head men's golf coach Tom Cayley.
Some ball that stands between you and the finals. Normally in golf, being last is a good thing. Last to go is a good thing, but that's a good thing tonight, sure. So to recap our season, we had our first female participant since 2009, and I'll be recognizing her in a few minutes. She performed quite well throughout the year, and we're proud to have her back next year representing Penn State Altoona in women's golf moving forward. We had a tough year. We got off to a little bit of a rocky start. We had 3 experienced returners, pillars of our program, and then beyond that, we were a little inexperienced. And we dealt with a little bit of inconsistency throughout the season, but we were still able to maintain our standing as one of the best teams in the Allegheny Mountain Collegiate Conference. We finished 3rd in the AMCC Championship. We were in the final pairing the last day with a shot at winning and just couldn't catch Penn State, as Coach McGrail says, the Penn State by the Lake. We were able to win Penn State by the Lake's Invitational, though, as our only win of the year. And so we were happy to take that home, and that was against all the conference teams. So one time this year we did come out on top. We had 4 AMCC All-Conference players. That was the most of any conference team, so we had four players, and the most anybody else had was 3. And this is always tough to recognize our team, because we do finish up October 10th, right around Columbus Day every year. So it's always tough to kind of recount the season this far away. But we did play a spring meet this year against Wilson College. We came out on top. We look forward to hopefully qualifying for the NCAA tournament next year and playing in May at the NCAA championship. I'll move on to our award winners. We'll start with our women's golfer. A coach's award goes to Claudia Ochoa. I like to get him on stage first and then talk about him. So being the only female with 9 or 10 other male players is a tough thing. But Claudia fit right in. She became part of the team. She was like one of the guys out there, and she held her own. There's day I never felt uncomfortable having her out there competing against the other guys. And then when she's out playing individually, representing Penn State Altoona against other female golfers, she held herself in high esteem. and really represented us with class, and she performed well on top of that. So we're very proud to have Claudia be a part of our program. And I've had female individual golfers in the past and never recognized them, but Claudia was such a great part of our team this year that I felt that she definitely earned to be a Coach's Award recipient. Our Men's Sportsmanship Award winner is Carl Gallardi. I almost took this away from him, seeing that he hit the buzzer beater winning layup in the Staff Falcony game, but he didn't rub it in my face too much. So Carl is, unfortunately, we're going to lose him to University Park for his junior year. But Carl's one of those players that competed for playing time, and if you're not sure how college golf works, everybody on our team competes for playing time against each other. And we only travel, we might have 10 to 12 people on the team, but we only travel with 5. Carl wasn't always the one finding his way into matches more often than anybody else, but he was always the one to make sure everybody got to practice. So imagine picking up somebody from their dorm that you're going to compete against in an hour to try to play in an event. Well, Carl is the guy that put team before self, and he was the one that made sure people had rides to practice, because we do practice 25 minutes away. And he's always, when we have recruiting visits, we have recruits on campus, Carl was the first one to step up and lead tours on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. When recruits are coming in. So Coach's Award for Carl is well-deserved. I'm sorry, Sportsmanship Award, sorry. Sportsmanship Award. Coach's Award goes to Chris Michaelone, and unfortunately Chris couldn't make it here tonight. Chris was playing in a golf tournament today, and on his way home there was an accident. He got stuck in some traffic. So unfortunately that kept him from making it tonight. But Chris Michaelone, Chris transferred from Campbell University, had to sit out a season to get himself caught up with credits. And it was tough because he was looking forward to participating last year. He was one of 19 inductees into the Kappa Delta Pi Education Honor Society, the only male of those 19. And he had to sit out, like I said, he had to sit out a year for transferring, but Chris is a consummate team player. He'll be back next year, and we'll look at Chris to be one of our leaders. So our Coach's Award is Chris Michaelone. Our most valuable player is Adam Osborne. You typically hear Adam before you see him, but he'll be sorely missed. Adam came to us 2 years ago from Bellwood, a local high school. He was one of the better high school players to come out of the area, and he showed that as he improved over the last 2 years. He was all AMCC each of the last 2 seasons, academic all AMCC, and he had the low scoring average on the team this year. He does rank in the top 25 all time in school scoring average as well. So Adam, you'll be sorely missed, and congratulations on being the team most valuable player. So for all the glamorous sports, you guys get senior nights. We don't. Golf, we don't have a senior night because we usually have one home meet a year. So fortunately, at this event, we have the 4-year participation awards. And I'm going to steal a minute or two to talk about our 4-year participant, Matt Dillon. Matt, come on up. Thank you. Oh, you got that. So in my previous employment, I had the opportunity to have Matt work for me as an employee. And I can tell you 5 years ago, Matt was he was an average high school golfer. I'm not putting him down, but I watched day in and day out over the last 4 years. Matt worked hard day in and day out. He hit practice range balls until his hands bled. The course I worked at had lights on their putting green. Matt would spend hours in the wee morning hours till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. practicing chipping and putting. He won a club championship at his home golf course, and he averaged 95 or something like that his freshman year. And then over the last 3 years, he's been an AMCC all-conference performer. Third team in 2014, first team in 2015, and second team in 2016. Academic all-conference, Chi Alpha Sigma last year, he earned that. He's in the top 30 all-time in scoring average out of, I think we've had almost 160 golfers all-time through our years. He just finished up his internship with Rob Okanak locally here, and he also has appeared in the 4th most events all-time in Penn State Altoona men's golf. So Matt, you'll be sorely missed, but the accounting world is gaining a good person and a good soul, so and a hard worker. So our 4-year participants, Matt Dillon. I'd like to thank all of the coaches, Brent, Dr. Bechtel-Wary, Jess, our trainer. We had our first referral for a golfer to the trainer in my 13 years of coaching this year, so I crossed that off my bucket list. Tiffany, Connor, for all the hard work they do and all the great things all the other coaches have said. But, you know, it's an honor to, as a former Penn State Altoona student athlete, to watch all of you compete, try to make it to as many events as possible, to watch everybody play. And, you know, with the Adler Complex opening, a lot of our first-year coaches having some great success, our coaches that have been here a while turning their programs around. I think the future is bright for our athletic department, and I hope we treat it that way from the student athletes and coaches as they come back in the fall and see what a great opportunity we have to grow here as a team. So look forward to the fall, look forward to the golf team in the fall, and your night's complete as far as the coaches go. So thank you for letting me wrap it up.
This time we'd like to give a special thanks. For the last 2 years, there have been 2 individuals who have been a constant around the athletic department here for no other reason, really, than the enjoyment of sports and helping out all of you. The athletic department would like to offer a special thank you to Joel Nelson and James Noter. Please come up here, guys. Probably about 75% of the pictures that you guys saw in the slideshow when you were walking in were taken by Joel this year. He's also helped me out tremendously with stats. He did the play-by-play for a lot of the basketball games this year, a bunch of the softball games this year, and I think he's coming back more to get in for a little bit more next year. James, Dave mentioned earlier, the #1 fan for you guys. He's kind of pioneered the war zone here at campus. To get like a student involvement level going that we can't really give from the athletic department perspective and be a little bit more personable to you guys. So congratulations to him on the work that he did, and we're looking forward to the War Zone coming back for more next year under somebody else. So thank these 2 gentlemen for all the work that they've done. Next award that we'd like to present this evening is the Jim Ellis Leadership Award. The Ellis Award is given in memory for former men's basketball assistant coach Jim Ellis, who displayed great leadership throughout his time on campus and left a lasting impression on everyone who was fortunate enough to spend time with him. The recipient of this award must have demonstrated the values of leadership, caring, civility, honesty, integrity, and responsibility. The winner of this year's Jim Ellis Leadership Award is Justin Bannister. Justin just finished his 3rd season with Penn State Altoona men's volleyball. He was voted a team captain, and on the court, he was one of his team's most effective players, ranking at or near the top of several all-time categories in program history. He helped the Lions achieve their first AMCC and MEAC championships this season, and he helped lead his team to the NCAA tournament. Of course, just the fact that Justin's able to stand up here on his own 2 feet is an accomplishment. Before his volleyball career began at Penn State Altoona, Justin was enrolled in the U.S. Army as a combat medic, and he was deployed to Afghanistan. Justin received the Army Commendation Medal for honorable service in Afghanistan. He was awarded the Army Achievement Medal for outstanding service while in the Army, and he was granted the Army Green and Gold to scholarship exemplifying outstanding leadership abilities. After his service in the Army, Justin came to Penn State Altoona, and he's been a standout of the men's volleyball team ever since. But during this past year, Justin experienced some more adversity when he lost a grandparent, and after that he was diagnosed with testicular cancer. He pushed himself through medical procedures and chemotherapy, all the while keeping up with his grades at school. By the start of the men's volleyball season, Justin was back on the court, and he was having an excellent season, ranking 3rd in the entire nation in blocks. That is until he gruesomely dislocated his ankle during warm-ups just minutes before a match here on campus. That day, he asked the doctor to set his ankle without anesthesia so that he can make it back to the gym to support his teammates in person. That's just the kind of leader that Justin is. Once again, Justin overcame. He rehabbed his ankle, he returned to the starting lineup in time to lead his team to the NEAC championship and into the NCAA tournament. Justin's coach, Phil Peterman, said that when he was dealt a setback, whether it was an ankle injury or cancer or just a bad volleyball match, Justin would say, "Don't worry, coach. I've been through worse in Afghanistan. I can get through this." And he did. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016-2017 Jim Ellis Leadership Award winner, Justin Bannister. The final awards to be handed out tonight are for the Women's and Men's Scholar Athletes of the Year. This award is given to a female athlete and a male athlete who have demonstrated excellence both on the playing field and in the classroom. Now, normally I'd be welcoming up Dr. Victor Brunsden, so he's not here, so I'm going to read these in a New Zealand accent for you. Just kidding. The 2016-2017 Penn State Altoona Female Scholar Athlete of the Year is Emily Baker from women's volleyball. Emily's been a 4-year starter for the Lady Lions. This season she set career highs in digs per set, and she helped her team go 8-1 in the AMCC and finish as the conference runners-up. In the classroom, Emily posted a 3.63 GPA as a biology major. She was elected the president of Beta Beta Beta, the National Biology Honor Society at Penn State Altoona. Emily also earned membership into Chi Alpha Sigma, and she received the John E. Lennox Academic Achievement Award for Excellence in Biology. Congratulations to 2016-2017 Female Scholar Athlete of the Year, Emily Baker. And the 2016-2017 Penn State Altoona Male Scholar Athlete of the Year is senior Jacob Byers from men's volleyball. Jake has been a 4-year member of the men's volleyball team. This past season, he became the Lions' all-time leader in kills and points, among other records. Jake has also helped lead his team to their first ever AMCC championships and NEAC championships this season, and the team made its first appearance in the NCAA tournament. Jake carried a 3.35 GPA, majoring in marketing and management with a minor in entrepreneurship. He's a member of the Sheets Fellowship Program, and he's the president of Enactus. Congratulations to the 2016-2017 Male Scholar Athlete of the Year, Jacob Byers.
Thank you for coming tonight. When you head back, get ready for finals. Enjoy your summer. For those of you that are coming back, I look forward to seeing you. For those of you that are leaving us, keep in touch, and good night. Thank you.